project to learn all the two-part inventions. I think I know half of them or a little bit more. And the one I'm looking at now is the B minor, and I'm in my total learning process. So I thought I'd share how from the ground up I'm learning this. The first thing I do is I need to know the key. I need to know fingering, set out a good fingering for each of two voices, because each voice is equally important actually. What one tends to forget is that you don't tack on the, what we don't want to do is tack on the left hand to the right hand. We need to know they're independent voices that are interacting at any given time, and each one is important. What strikes me about this is the ornaments. The ornaments really carry the show here, and you have to decide on a good fingering. I don't go into this that you can't put your thumb on a black note. We usually follow that when we have scales. We try to avoid that because it makes the thumb passes very awkward otherwise. So, but for this, I've been trying to get a consistent fingering into all the ornaments so that I have like a sequential fingering that I can apply as much as I can throughout the right hand and the left hand too. So here's what I've decided to do. The subject is important to discover, and its articulation again is important. Now, how do you know the articulation? Well, the additions are wanting in this area. Even if you have Bärenreiter, the so-called Urtext, you might not have enough information, and you don't, as to how to articulate and group the notes. I tend to listen to people like Angela Hewitt. I really like the way she is very musical and gets the Baroque flavor into her choices. So I'm going to be using this Palmer edition, but I actually listened to Angela and made some notes on what she does. The subject is this, and the way we articulate is that indeed is the subject right there. Now, if you do first play the subject without the ornaments, you'll hear the resonating principal notes that create the melody. And you might want to do that first to hear the actual outline of the melody, just barely as it is. That's a good thing to do, and you probably should do that with the fingering that would occur on those principal notes. If you took away, if you added the ornaments, you would want to maintain what fingering you have for the ornament, which would coincide with the principal note falling inside that ornament. That's a good thing to do. I may not have done that just now. So let's go back to actually playing the subject with the ornament, and maybe playing the ornament very slowly, because it's easy to get it gobbled up. So, ya ba bum bum da da bum more and Okay, now I would continue my reading, and I would make note of any changes of key that might occur. That was clearly B minor, and the piece is in B minor. Doesn't mean it's going to stay there. Now over here, it goes into a different key. And how can you test it? Because as you're singing it, you want to sight sing it a little bit. You're going to sight sing as you play. You could see that there are some notes here that definitely are not in B minor, and it tends to come home to rest in the course of the next phrase into F sharp minor. F sharp minor would be called the dominant minor. Go up 5 notes and you get to F sharp minor. So this next section you have, fingering is important again. I'm going to go slowly. 1, 4, 3, 2. Now Hewitt detaches this. like what she does there, because there's so many legato notes that she breaks it up with the ya, ba, 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 etc. with the detached notes. Now that clearly cadenced in F sharp minor as I played it. And actually, see what happens next. So I'm now going along, and my fingering is important, my articulation is important, these decisions as I'm learning, and good to do it slowly. Now this would be the subject in the dominant minor. It goes over to F sharp minor. We just came out of F sharp minor, and he stays there for the subject again, and that's important. I would write subject right here when he does. Ya, ba, bum. Now I'm using the same ornamental fingers, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, because it works. It happens to work. So I'm using the same ornamental fingerings. Now, I believe she detaches these again. Yum, bum, 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 bum. She detaches those. These are little sequences, pieces of the subject. This is a development sequence into D major. Sequences down. So this is sequence down. Actually, the way I think of this is a scale notes decorated with upper neighbors and then a leap after that. So I think of this as my principal notes. For musical purposes, I want to see a thread of something going through a passage like this, and clearly comes across as as you learn it, it helps you like unify your learning and have an identity, a commonality of understanding between notes, such as, they're doing sequences, up a step, down a fifth, up a step, down a fifth, but the launching note is coming down by a step, except he deviates here. So I might put a little circle around the D, because it's not another fifth. La, sol, fa, mi, re. Always use solfeggio. It really helps me to understand what's happening on a different level than just reading a bunch of notes on the page. Now, he has here, it comes out of that, these sequences. Officially cadencing in D major. So he took a piece of the subject here, that, and then he continued in eighth notes. So you want to think, like, where did that come from? Ba, ba, ba comes from the beginning subject, a piece of it. You want to know all about borrowing parts of the subject when you're learning this. And now he continues in D major. I need to know my key, because that's why you do scales. You pull the scales into the music and take the scales out of the music. You see the key relationships. And here again, he has D major. Sequences, but little deviations. Okay, so now we are in another key. We went to A major. Yeah. Again, and as you want to know, we went to A major, and A major is, you can't really say what it is of B minor. It's kind of distant. You just have to say it's A major. A major, you could say, relates to the D major he came out of, and very simply the dominant of the relative major to B minor. So there's always these relationships that you want to pull out of the music. So now we modulated to use a G sharp there. Now this whole section is almost atonal to me, because he starts sticking in sharps and things. And when Angela plays it, it's so wonderful. You actually hear, you're almost like lost in this sea of accidentals that suddenly come in. But up to that point, it's been very, very logically based tonalities. And I'm going to go back again to that A major section. Here with the right hand, and I'll do another one with the left hand.